So I haven't I've never made a car vlog before. Ever since I got, this car, my first car, um at the end of last summer. So we're gonna give this a shot. I don't know how useful this is gonna be or how usable this is gonna be. But I want to give you all a quick update. I don't want to ramble on too long like I normally do. But yeah, so developments since my last video. I envisioned leaving North Carolina, moving to Los Angeles, hopefully, and like kind of setting down roots and starting a PhD program there, starting work there, and just like reconnecting with a lot of my queer friends there, and just like, sailing off into the sunset, living a happy life back in the place where I was born, right? That wasn't the case. The program I applied to rejected me, and I'm not even, it's the way I'm mentioning it now is going to seem like I consider it a consolation. It's not a consolation. It's just a different option that I, one, wasn't expecting, and two, yeah, I just didn't like very seriously consider. Sorry, I had to like, when you have to like scratch your nose, but you're not like picking your nose, but you're like very aware of how it looks, and so I just didn't want y'all to think I'd be like digging up my nose. Anyways, so I got into a program, a PhD program at MIT, and did not consider moving to Boston, did not consider moving to New England at all. But that's what's happening, and I have a lot of sort of mixed feelings about that, just regarding like racial climates. Which some of it was dispelled when I actually went up there for open house, and did a little bit of homework, and just sort of realizing that even though Boston's public image isn't painted this way, it's like 25% black, and there's like a lot of cool black queer things happening there. It's just sort of undersold, and I'm really thankful that I have multiple friends there who are kind of plugged in different ways, and they're all like super knowledgeable and super kind and awesome. But yeah, I think I'm in this headspace right now because as I'm filming this, it's Cinco de Mayo 2018. I'm in a parking lot, so I'm about to go to the party, like some house party, put on by just like this locally famous drag queen, and acquaintance of mine. There's plenty of friends at the party, and so my non-drinking ass is like picking up some like bougie sparkling organic pear juice, which most of which will probably be like, so I want to have a moment of solidarity for the girls out there who don't drink, where you want to bring things to these parties. You don't want to, like, especially a party that's like BYOB. This isn't a BYOB party. I'm just a good party guest, so I bring shit. And it's like, okay, I want to bring this so I can drink it, but I also want to bring it for anyone else who isn't drinking, so they have options besides like water, and ginger ale. And yeah, but when you bring bougie shit like this, all these drunk hoes see is, ooh, that's a good mixer, girl. And I don't want to tell people like, no, don't use this as a mixer, because like, I don't want to be some kind of, like party buzzkill, but also, bitch, like, give me my fucking organic pear juice. Like, don't mix your Sky vodka with this shit. Like, this is for the girls who aren't drunk right now. We could be on other substances, but we're not drunk. So that's where I am at with that. Anyways, so I'm in the parking lot right now, and in my vision, I can see two white-owned, Mexican food or Tex-Mex establishments, white non-Mexicans, white non-Latinx people, and they're popping because it's Cinco de Mayo, and it's just like this very completely unsurprising, but still perverse manifestation of white American racism. And yeah, I'm just like in the space right now where I've just been thinking about race a lot, not because I want to. Part of me wants to in like some realms of my personal life, right? Like, I'm not gonna lie, I choose to think about race a lot. And then in part of my academic research work, like, yes, race is something I think about a lot. But there are so many times where I'm just living my life, and I kind of made a moody Tumblr post about this yesterday, the day before, but like, where I'm just like living my life, or I'm just doing work, and people like really bring not just race into the conversation, but like the trauma of like centuries of slavery. And I wish I was joking. Like, if y'all follow me on Tumblr, then maybe you know, like, sort of being, you know, in a very professional meeting with a lot of people, I'm the least experienced, I'm the youngest, I'm the person with the least amount of clout at this meeting, and like someone referring to, you know, a supervisor of mine as a slave driver. And it's just like, that's really fucking inappropriate. Like, what are we... No, we're not doing that here. Especially for work that's like targeted like in the South, in the American South, in the Carolinas. Or sort of like just behind me, actually, at this like sort of co-op that I bought, you know, this organic sparkling pear juice. Was, you know, I shared an anecdote also on Tumblr of choosing a table for a meeting, me putting my things down, sitting down at that table, but white people still approaching me as if, and like asking me to just like give up the table, not asking anyone else, but asking me. And like, that's just like such a regular thing at that space, to the point where a different set of people I know here locally, have a group of black people have just started like actively trying to disrupt, because there's like a kind of a common space, outdoor, indoor seating area under some trees around here. I know they have just had wild negative experiences, some involving police here, where yeah, now they're just like, you know, we're gonna be black as fuck and disrupt the space, because fuck these people. You know, I'm not necessarily part of that brigade, but I've definitely just had a lot of experiences with just like white entitlement. And this place is obviously very like that meme of like that, you know, layered multicolored skirt and the sandals and a bunch of like, you know, craft jewelry, of like the aesthetics of that woman who'll cut you in line at the farmer's market. It's very that here. So yeah, so that kind of that happened the same day as like the slave driver comment, and then a non-white person, but still a non-black person, just kind of like really questioning me about my race and why my skin looks this way, and why I have light-colored brown eyes, and like why I sound a certain way. And me just like I was just at this was at like a semi-professional party regarding like the newest edition of this academic journal publication was just launched. It was a sort of a launch party. I was just there, you know, trying to kiki with the girls, sipping on my water. It was at a brewery, so there's nothing for me to drink but water. You know, I'm just trying to talk to people, try to catch up to people, talk about summer plans, and am interrogated about my race. And people can just consider that small talk, and then also consider it weird for me to be like, fuck off. You literally don't even know my name. And that happened the same day, you know, as the slave driver comment, and as, you know, the day that someone wanted me to just kind of get up from my table and give it to them. And yeah, it's just like very little things like that, which honestly, from some perspectives, could be like, this bitch is whining. This bitch is like, you know, a little too sensitive. And you know, some days I am. But all of that as like the undercurrent with the overcurrent of working in a building built by slaves, not acknowledged to be built by slaves, that literally has a huge Confederate monument in front of it. This Confederate monument, obviously there's protests around it. Working in an institution that pours resources into protecting this monument in terms of like multiple armed security, multiple cameras, 24/7, and also kind of dealing with just like living in a space where one of the counties over, there's been like multiple kind of announcements for Klan rallies, and weird support Trump rallies, and there have been neo-Nazi kind of like appearances on the campus that I work. It's just like these things all add up, right? And so I'm in a space right now where I'm thinking like, okay, this is the South. I love the South, but I hate the South. I need the South, but the South is also killing me. And I'm about to move to a place where I know people shit on the South. People across the United States and the world generally, but definitely across the United States, shit on the American South as if it is more racist than places that they're in. And I am a firm believer that, at least in the United States, there's just like a general baseline of like the amount of racism. It just manifests in all these different ways, right? So it just has very colorful regional ways it manifests in the South, in ways that have been picked up and sort of adopted in popular lore, media, reality, that people like to focus on. California is no less racist than North Carolina. It really isn't. There are some ways where there are some battles that progressivism, I guess, like has won, and I even hate the term progressivism, but yeah. And I'm about to move to Boston, where I feel like it's different from California in that, like, despite this city being 25% black, I just have this, maybe from living in other parts of the North, where, like, the North has this weird racism that manifests from just, like, being in such a segregated place that they've just never seen black people up close, and being in such a self-segregated place. I want to reiterate that, or at least draw attention to that, to where, I mean, racism here, oh girl, sorry, the police are doing the absolute most right now. I fucking hate the cops. Okay, yeah, so I guess I'm just like kind of bracing myself for moving to an environment where people really don't think of themselves as racist, but they're just as racist. And I'm trying to understand what that means, because I think at the end of the day, despite only living there for the first 9 years of my life and just only visiting afterwards, kind of California's brand of racism is the one that I am most comfortable with, the kind that I know how to navigate the most, and just the kind that just seems less abrasive inherently to me. Because that's, that's the flavor of anti-blackness I was born into. And yeah, I'm rambling a little bit, but I'm just like really trying to think through how I'm gonna navigate being honest about my experience here in the South, where I've dealt with some fucked up shit, in various parts of the South. Like, I've seen the Klan, I've seen police misconduct, I have seen people, neo-Nazis really caping for their Confederate monuments. How do we deal with, like, being honest about these experiences in a realm where I really don't want people to hear those anecdotes and think like, ooh, must have been really rough down there in North Carolina. It's a good thing you're here in Boston with us girls, because we're progressive, and like kind of flip it on its head where it's just like, no, bitch, y'all are fucked up too. And yeah, I don't know where I'm going with this video anymore, but I did want to update y'all on the MIT thing. I think that's really exciting. And I want to make videos about, how black queer and trans people can navigate the graduate school admission process, specifically for those identities, because I think things are a little bit different for us. And yeah, I kind of wanted to update y'all on the move. So for my Boston people out there, let me know that you're out there. I would love to meet up with you. I just kind of found out where I'm living. I guess I'm like actually going to be living in Cambridge, but you know, I feel like nowhere in the Boston area is actually too far from any other part. I think I'm going to bring up my car because I just got this bitch and I'm not willing or ready to sell it for at least my first like 6 months to a year. If I find out that I'm not using a car, then I guess I'll have to sell it. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I'm gonna take this juice to this drag queen's party, and hopefully I have a good night, because I've been like in my head, I've been in like a weird depressive state all day, and you know, I was invited to this party because people want me there, and I need to sort of like remember that. I need to sort of calm down and just be and have fun and talk to people, because I don't have too much time here. And despite all of the bullshit that I just mentioned, I really love the queer and trans community that I found here, and I don't have too many more nights like this. So that's that on that. I'm sending you all lots of love. I hope I'm audible, because my fans are blowing right now, and my car's actually on. So I'm burning gas, bitch. Let's go. I'll see y'all later.